Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Super duper abaqra. We have our SAT EST intensive writing class يا عبقرة. Now ركز وركزي وصحصحوا معايا please. الرايتنج في الامتحان أسهل من الريدنج for most students and in most cases الرايتنج أسهل من الريدنج. اوكي Now بما ان الرايتنج أسهل من الريدنج المفروض ان احنا نقدر نجيب فيه 100%. يبقى you need to be perfect في الرايتنج، مش عشان هو سهل نهمله، لان كتير قوي من الطلبة بيركزوا في الريدنج قوي عشان هو صعب عليهم وبيهملوا الرايتنج على اساس ان هو سهل وبيجيبوا فيه سكور معقول، بس تقدر تجيب فيه 100% full mark. Okay now we have many different types of questions بتيجي في الريدنج. النهارده هنتعلم مع بعض اهمهم اكتر حاجة بتيجي. Okay, and again, you will have a chance after this intensive course اللي حابب يكمل معانا الكورس العادي بتاعنا to learn بقية الحاجات كلها. بس what we're doing now will help you answer the most common questions اللي بيجوا كتير في الامتحان اللي عليهم load كبير اللي ممكن تجيبوا بيهم something very close to a full mark إن شاء الله. So, before we begin, ladies and gentlemen, tell me please, are you alive or not? And are you ready or not? بسرعة, are you A and are you R? Answer me في comments يا super عبقرة please, and then we will move on to this very 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 important class إن شاء الله. So 1 2 3 4 5 alive and ready. Let's take a look. أول حاجة يا شباب، أنواع الأسئلة اللي بتيجي في الرايتنج في امتحان ال SAT وامتحان ال EST كالآتي. عندنا أسئلة grammar وأسئلة punctuation. أوكي؟ والجرامر والبنكتويشن دول النهارده ان شاء الله هنتكلم عليهم بالتفصيل وهنحل عليهم بالتفصيل، بس لازم تعرف ان الجرامر والبنكتويشن هم اهم انواع اسئله بتيجي في الامتحان. دول most frequent types of questions. اكتر نوعين من الاسئله بتيجي في الامتحان هم الجرامر والبنكتويشن، عشان كده مهمين جدا جدا جدا. vocabulary نوع تاني، combining sentences, transition questions. reading دي بتبقى أسئلة شبه أسئلة الريدنج بتيجي في section الرايتنج، ودي احنا already اتعلمنا ازاي نحل reading، فبتبقى سهل قوي ان احنا نستعملها لان احنا already بنعرف الريدنج skills، يعني دي بتتحل بالريدنج skills والهاكس اللي اتعلمناها في الريدنج. Then we have something called yes yes no no questions، ودي ناس كتيرة قوي بتتلخبط فيها، بتغيب فيها وبتغلط فيها. So today as a bonus، مع ان I just planned for grammar and punctuation، بس as a bonus هنعمل yes yes no no questions كمان today بإذن الله، and hopefully it's going to be super super good for you إن شاء الله. Okay? Then في حاجة اسمها logical ordering questions وفي حاجة اسمها graph questions. الجراف questions شبه قوي الجراف questions اللي اتعلمناها برضو في الريدنج. اوكي يا شباب؟ So الفوكابيولاري شبه الريدنج زي الريدنج، الجراف شبه الريدنج. النهارده هنتعلم مع بعض الجرامر والبنكتويشن واليس يس نو نو، يعني pretty much most of الانواع الاسئله اللي ممكن تيجي في الامتحان هنتعلمها بالتفصيل مع بعض. Now برضو عشان ما سيبكش كده لوحدك، يعني الكومبايننج والترانزيشن واللوجيكال اوردرنج بنحل عليهم في الكلاسز بتاعه الحل اللي هتكون بعد الشرح ده. اوكي، عندنا كلاسز بنحل فيها امتحان كامل على بعضه هنعمل فيها الاسئله دي كلها، سو ركزوا فيهم ان شاء الله you'll find lots of good tips and hacks واحنا بنحل مع بعض. اوكي يا عبقرة؟ Okay, so المنيو بتاعنا النهاردة will be as follows. Number 1 هنبتدي على طول بالجرامر، هنتعلم التوب grammar rules and the top grammar hacks. مش هنقدر نتعلم الجرامر كله النهارده because grammar is super طويل، انما هنتعلم اهم حاجات في الجرامر تنفعكم في الامتحان. Then إن شاء الله we will take a break. غالبا البريك هنكون ما خلصناش لسه الجرامر فيه، يعني هناخد الجرامر ونسيب مثلا 2 هاكس ولا حاجه، ناخد بريك وبعدين نكملهم. اوكي، سو البريك مش بعد الجرامر قوي يعني علشان التايم. انتوا عارفين انا فكرتي ان عايز اشغلكم نص ساعه وبعدين ناخد بريك، نص ساعه وبعدين ناخد بريك. Then إن شاء الله هنتعرض للpunctuation وهنتعلم مع بعض النهاردة a few punctuation hacks which are super important. ناس كتيرة قوي ما بتبقاش عارفة تعمل ايه في punctuation. Then I'm going to give you another break إن شاء الله، وفي البريك التاني ده بإذن الله بعد ما نخلصه هنعمل البونس بتاعنا اللي هو yes yes no no questions. Okay يا شباب؟ So grammar و punctuation و yes yes no no questions, 3 very important types of questions في الامتحان. We will start now بالgrammar. super تركيز. Don't forget عبقرة. I need to see your super notes and I need to see your super comments. Okay geniuses? Okay geniuses. Let's go. Grammar.
Grammar questions. The number of grammar questions is more than the number of any other type of question on the writing section. So if you divide each writing section into the questions of each writing section, you will find that grammar questions are the most number of questions. The most number of questions will be grammar questions. We have over 20 grammar rules and even more grammar hacks. So we have more than 20 grammar hacks and we have over 20 grammar rules. All of them are important. But because this course is a boot camp, it's an intensive course, and we can't say all the details in the world, we will learn the 10 most important grammar rules and hacks today. And they are the most important 10. Okay? So they're 10, even though we have 20 rules, but they're not 50% of the 20. They're about 75, 80% of the questions that will appear in grammar will be using these 10 tricks and hacks. Okay? Rules and hacks. So pay attention and understand them very, very well if you please. همشي بسرعة شوية يا شباب. So ركزوا كويس جدا. 10 نقط. اكتب معايا. هناخد example على كل واحد. Are you ready? بلاش احراج. Okay. Let's go. Our top 10 grammar rules and hacks are subject-verb agreement. 2 tricks we're going to learn really quickly. Verb tense. 1 easy trick we're going to learn really quickly. Pronoun agreement. 1 trick we're going to learn. Parallelism. 2 tricks we're going to learn. Diction mistakes. 1. Wordiness. A few. Redundancy. 1. Hack. 10 points. Easy. Let's go. Number 1. Subject-verb agreement. Now, we all know that the subject and the verb in any sentence must agree. So, John, for example, is a subject. Are, for example, is a verb. This sentence is wrong because the subject and the verb do not agree. John is singular and are is plural. So, you all know that any subject and any verb should agree. They should both be singular or both be plural. This is the easy part. Now, let's move on to what we want to actually learn today. What appears on the test frequently. We're going to learn 2 cases for 2 tricks that appear frequently on the test. In our larger grammar curriculum for the SAT, we call these 2 tricks 1.1b. So just to be familiar with the name, this is what we call it. But today we're going to learn 2 things. Are you ready? Number 1. If I have a subject, then a comma, then I have some words, then another comma, then a verb, always remember that this subject belongs to this verb. Not any word inside here. Now, the way I explained this is actually wrong. This isn't how you should understand it. How you should understand it is as follows. Pay attention, please. If you find a verb that has a comma before it, look for another comma before them. If you find another comma, then 90% the noun or pronoun before that comma will be the subject of this verb, and not any noun or pronoun here in between both commas. 90% يا شباب لو لقيت verb قبله كوما بدور على كوما تانية. لقيت كوما تانية يبقى الكلمة اللي قبليها هي السبجكت. طيب ليه 90%؟ سؤال أحمد. علشان خاطر ممكن تكون التو كوماز دول مش بتوع بعض، دي اسمها appositive. ممكن التو كوماز دول ما يبقوش appositive، يبقوا بتوع حاجة تانية خالص وانت مش واخد بالك، عشان كده ساعات ممكن تغلط فيها، ولكن نادرا جدا جدا. 90% بجد يعني. اوكي؟ verb قبله كوما، دور على كوما تانية، هو ده السبجكت، خلاص خلصنا. اوكي؟ مفيش أي مشكلة. تمام. طيب. So, let me say this one more time. Pay attention, please. One more time. If you have a verb and you have a comma before that verb, look for another comma before it. If you find the other comma, 90%, the noun or pronoun right here is the subject of the verb right here. And you can ignore whatever is in between the two commas. The second trick for subject-verb agreement on the test, the second popular trick that appears very frequently on the test, is the following. You can have a word that we will call word A. Then a preposition like in, or on, or at, or with, or by, or for, and so on. Then another word that we call word B. Then you have a verb. Which of these two words is the subject of this verb? Is it word A or word B? It's always going to be word B. Okay? So, one more time, super quickly. Subject-verb agreement. Any subject and its verb must agree. Agree meaning that they should both be the same, either singular or plural. We have two famous tricks on the test. Number one, two commas, subject before the first comma, the verb is after the second comma. Another trick, we have a preposition between two words, then a verb. The subject of this verb is always going to be the word before the preposition. Easy? Easy. Examples. Let's go. Let's do this one first. This trend, combined with the increasing accessibility of information via the internet, has. What is has? It's a verb. What is before this verb? There's a comma. If you find a verb with a comma before it, what do we look for? Another comma. Here's my other comma. So, where is the subject of has? The word before the comma. So, this word right here is my subject. The word trend is singular, and the word has, or the verb has, is singular as well. So answer A is correct. Trend has. Can I say trend have? Because have is plural. So what is this called? Subject, verb, agreement, mistake. That's why B is wrong. Forget about C and D for now. Okay? So this is one example, the two commas. Let's take a second example, the one before it. Take a look at number 7. Exceed is a verb. Which word is the subject of this verb? It should be the word before it, the noun before it, which is caves. Unless before the word caves, we have a preposition. And here we do have a preposition, right? Okay, very well. So, what is the subject? The word before the preposition. And what do we have here before the preposition? Distance. So, very simply, the subject of the word exceed is the word distance and not the word caves. Distance is singular, correct? But exceed without an S is plural. Plural verbs don't take S usually, and singular verbs have S usually. So distance exceed or distance exceeds. Exceeds. Easy. Two very popular tricks. They come a lot on the test. You need to know them by heart and understand them super well. Now, here's a little trick. Somebody might ask me, well, what about this word right here? Of. This is a preposition. Why didn't I go to the word before the preposition? What about in? This is also a preposition. Why didn't I go before in? What about to? That's also a preposition. Why didn't I go before to? Because right here, there is a comma. So we go back. When we have prepositions, we go back. Until you find a comma, you stop. Okay? بصوا يا شباب الحتة دي بتلخبط ناس كتير. ركزوا معايا من فضلكم. exceed كان المفروض السبجكت بتاعها يبقى caves. caves exceed. ولكن لقيت قبل كده between وbetween the preposition. طالما في preposition يبقى لازم ارجع للكلمة اللي قبلها. يبقى السبجكت بتاعي distance. distance exceeds. ليه بقى ما قلتش ان في هنا of preposition برضه وارجع؟ ليه ما قلتش ان in preposition وارجع؟ ليه ما قلتش ان to preposition وارجع؟ لان هنا في comma. والرول بيقول انت بتقعد ترجع بالprepositions كده لغايه لما تلاقي comma. لو لقيت comma وقف عندها. اوكي؟ ما ترجعش تاني زياده. اتفقنا؟ Skill rule hack number 2. Verb tenses. Very simple. We're just going to write a little note. Okay? Come on, write with me, please. Verbs in the same sentence should usually have the same tense. So, we have verbs that can be in the present tense, past tense, or future tense. If these verbs are in one sentence, they should typically all have the same tense. They should all be present, or all be past, or all be future. Why did I say usually? Because there is an exception. Unless the meaning is correct with different tenses. What does this mean? It means exactly what you see. In most cases, the tenses in the same sentence should all, the verbs, in the same sentence should all have the same tense. Every now and then, we might have a sentence that has verbs in different tenses, but is still correct. It will be correct if the meaning is correct. Example, without writing anything, pay attention. I know a boy. I know a boy. Present. I know him now. Who scored 1600 on the SAT last year. So I know a boy who scored. No is present. Scored is past. But the sentence is okay. There's nothing wrong with it because the meaning is right. But in most cases, if you have verbs in the same sentence, they should have the same tense. في الامتحان يا شباب بيجي لك sentences ودي مشهورة جدا. السنتنس فيها كذا verb. فيها مثلا 3 verbs. واحدة متسطرة واثنين مش متسطرين. الاثنين اللي مش متسطرين تلاقيهم present. والمتسطرة تلاقيها past مثلا. في الحالة دي المتسطرة الباست دي مالها؟ غالبا غلط. لأن المفروض كل الverbs يكون نفس التنس. كل فين وفين زي الاكزامبل اللي انا قلتها من شويه ممكن يبقى عندك sentence فيها different tenses وتبقى صح. طب اعرف منين؟ You have to check the meaning. Okay? So before you make your final decision whether it is right or wrong, always check the meaning. Example. Has been. This is present perfect. It means from the past and up till now. Let's read the sentence before it and after it. Let's read the whole thing. The State University of New York was subsequently founded in 1948. Massachusetts Stonehill College, which has been established in the same year. What is the same year? 1948. So, has been in 1948. When is 1948? In the past. Has been means from the past until now. You can't establish something from 1948 until now. So this is wrong. Okay, can it be will be in the future? No. Can it be is? Is established in 1948? No. So the answer must be was. Now, here's a trick. Read the rest of the sentence and pay attention to the trick, please. Massachusetts Stonehill College, comma, which has been established in the same year, comma, estimates. Estimates is present. So how can we have estimates as a present tense verb? And it's right, it's not underlined. And ate should be was in the past. This is the trick I was talking about. The meaning is correct. Let's read it again. Massachusetts Stonehill College, which was established in the same year, 1948, in the past, estimates now. So the college that was established 50 years ago or 60 years ago or 70 years ago now estimates that veterans can pass. Okay? So even though we do have two different tenses, it is still correct because the meaning is correct. Okay? Number 3. Pronoun agreement. Very, very simple. Pronoun, like he, she, I, you, they, pronouns, must agree with the nouns that they refer to. So any pronoun must refer to a noun. The pronoun and the noun that it refers to must be in agreement. They should either both be singular or both be plural. They need to be the same. Both singular or both plural. So, for example, if I say he and I'm referring to boys, would it be right or wrong? Wrong, because he is singular, boys are plural. If I say they and I refer to a doctor, would it be right or would it be wrong? It would be wrong, because they is plural and a doctor is singular. That easy, that simple. Okay? Does it appear on the test frequently? Yes, it does. Let's take an example. The trick here is to realize that the word underlined is, in the first place, a pronoun. Let's take a look here. The GI Bill is best known, however, for the education and training assistance they provided veterans. They is a pronoun that must refer to a noun. Who is they? Who does they refer to? The GI Bill. I don't know what the GI Bill is. I didn't read this passage. I really don't understand what it is. But GI, capital letters, Bill, capital letter as well. So it's the name of something. And this something, which I don't know or understand exactly, already has a trick or a hint in the sentence. It says the GI Bill is. So the GI Bill is singular. So the GI Bill is singular. And they refers to the GI Bill. So should I say they or should I say it? That's it. Super simple. Okay? Number 4. Parallelism. Parallelism, you can remember the rule for parallelism using 2 different tricks. Number 1, pair right here reminds me of the word parts. Also, the L right here remind me of the parallel lines symbol in math. Parallel lines in math, in geometry, are 2 lines that have the same direction, okay, that are pretty much similar in the way they look to your eye. Parallel parts of any sentence are also the same way. They are parts of a sentence that should look the same. We have 2 little tricks here. Pay attention to them really quickly, please. The first one is what I call verb parallelism. And this is a famous part of our whole grammar curriculum. It's called number 1.2. Verb parallelism. Verb parallelism basically says that if you have verbs, these verbs are parts, and these verbs are parts of a sentence, they should look the same. What does that mean? For example, if I say, I like to sing, and I should write to read, because now I have verbs in 2 parts of the sentence. Part 1 and part 2. They both need to look the same, so they both have to have 2. Another popular case is when you have the following. I like singing and reading. So here we have 2 parts as well. Singing and reading. And they both look the same because they both have ing. So first case, both have 2. Second case, both have ing. Third case, another popular case, is for the both of them to not have either. No to and no ing. So number 3. I like to sing and read. So parallel verbs should look the same. 2 and 2. ing and ing, or nothing and nothing. Okay? Now, quick question, you don't have to write this. Is it possible for me to say, I like to sing and read without saying to read? Yes, it is. As if we have brackets or parentheses here, and 2 is a common factor like we do in math. Okay? So this is one possibility or one exception to the rule. Okay, guys? And it's very simple, so you don't need to write this down. You probably all know it already. Now, let's move on to our second popular parallelism trick on the test, and is what we call 3-part parallelism. 3PP. 3-part parallelism. And this is very popular on the test. I'm not going to explain it because we are going to take an example now that will clarify it, but really, really briefly. 3-part parallelism happens on the test quite frequently. You have part number 1, then you have a comma, you have part number 2, then you have a comma, and part number 3. Very popular form on the test. Something, comma, something, comma, and something. Once you see this on the test, know for sure that this is probably going to be a question on 3-part parallelism. Of these 3 parts, 1 will be underlined and 2 will not. You will try to find the closest one replacement for the underlined part that is similar to the other 2 parts. Okay? يبقى يا شباب 3-part parallelism عبارة عن sentence بتاعتك متقسمة ل3 حتت. واحدة منهم متسطرة والاثنين التانيين غالبا مش متسطرين. ممكن تبقى في واحدة منهم برضه متسطرة بس غالبا مش متسطرة. الواحدة المتسطرة دي شكلها مش زي الاثنين التانيين. لازم تختار الإجابة اللي تخلي شكلها زي الاثنين التانيين. تعال نبص. Example on parallelism. Pay attention, everybody. Question 4. For a variety of reasons, to build on their technical military experience, to support their families, or perhaps to retrain. Wait a minute. This is 3-part parallelism. How do you know? Something, comma, something, comma, and. Here, it's actually comma or. It could also be comma but comma and is the most popular. I put this one here so you know that it doesn't have to be comma and. So now I have 3 parts. Which one is the part that is underlined? Part number 2, to support their families. Now, how should to support their families look like? It should look like part number 1 and part number 3. What is part number 1? To build. Part number 3, or perhaps to retrain. So part number 2 should look like what? Like to build and to retrain. So it should be to support. So this is 2 and this is 3. Okay? So the best answer would be A. To build, to support, or perhaps to retrain. 2 plus 4. Okay? 3-part parallelism. Trick number 5. Diction. Diction error on the test basically means the following. You have 2 words, or more than 2 words, that look the same, but have different meanings. And I'm going to go right into the words that appear frequently on the test. Help me here, please. What does this mean? Hurry up. They are. What does this mean? A possessive pronoun, something that belongs to them. What does this mean? There, here, there. There is, there are. These 3 words are popular diction words. They look the same, but they have different meanings. Okay, let's take another. It's. This is an apostrophe, by the way. It is. It has. It's. Possessive pronoun, something that belongs to it. Okay, let's do one more. To. It has 2 meanings. To meaning very, I am too tired. Or to meaning also, I will come with you too. I will come with you as well. To. Preposition. To. Number. Do you understand? These are all called diction mistakes. Now, they are extremely simple. And the most common diction mistakes on the SAT test come from these 5 words. And it's ridiculous how every single test there has to be a couple of questions on these words. Super simple, super fast. It's a gift on the test. Example. I'm going to count till 5. I want you guys to choose the best answer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. B. Whether they enrolled in a technical engineering class or a vocational class on auto repair, their overarching objectives. Their here means they are. They are objectives? No. I want to say that the objectives that belong to them, their objectives, were to become employed. So B is the best answer right away. And this is a diction mistake, this is a diction mistake, and they are is the same as there in number 5, so it's also a dictionary mistake. اوكي يا حضرات، يلا بينا ناخد بريك 5 minutes بالظبط. بليز ميك شور ان انتوا كتبتوا كل حاجه خدناها، وهتكتبوا كل حاجه هناخدها بعد البريك. اول ما نرجع من البريك ان شاء الله هناخد نمبر 6 اللي هي الوردينس. very important, very easy but very important. ناس كتير قوي ما تعرفهاش مع انها سهله قوي. يلا بينا يا شباب، 5 دقايق بالظبط and I'll see you back in class. Go. Number 6, wordiness. On the test, sometimes we will find wordy answer choices. And wordy answer choices are usually wrong. Not always wrong. Usually wrong. Okay? Everything we've taken before, always wrong. This is usually wrong in today's class. Okay. Number 1, the plus ing. If you have a the plus ing, this is a wordy form and can be written in a different form that is better. Example, John is happy because the winning of the match did so-and-so. The winning of the match made John happy. The losing of the game made him sad. The plus ing, usually wrong, wordy. Number 2, pronoun plus ing. His winning made his parents happy. His winning, wordy, not nice, not good, usually wrong. Okay? Very good. Number 3. Who can guess? Apostrophe S plus ing. Wordy, usually wrong. John's winning. Sam's losing. The boy's coming. Usually wrong, wordy. Number 4. If you have 2 complete sentences, and for those of you who don't know or don't remember, a complete sentence is a sentence that has a subject, a verb, and makes sense if you read it by itself. 2 complete sentences with comma and in the middle, usually wrong, wordy. Even though this is not a run-on sentence. Don't confuse it with run-on sentences. This is correct. It is not a run-on sentence. It is not a type of comma splice. It is correct, but it is wordy. Number 5, too much. Too much talk. الخمسة tricks بتوع الwordiness. Number 1, ذا وراها ing غالبا غلط. Pronoun وراها ing غالبا غلط. Apostrophe S وراها ing غالبا غلط. 2 complete sentences كاملين كل واحدة لوحدها مفهومة وفي النص comma and غالبا غلط. Too much talk. رغي كتير. كلام كتير ملوش لازمة. غلط والإجابة القصيرة هي أحلى إجابة. Okay guys, let's move on and take an example. Example, really quickly. Question number 44. Take a look here. Everybody look with me, please. Now, we're going to read all this and then look here. Have since arisen in France, Germany, South Africa, the United States, and other countries. On top of that, do I really need to say on top of that? This is too much talk. TMT. Okay? I already said France, Germany, South Africa, United States, and other countries. So it's these countries and other countries. We're done. Why do I need to say on top of that? It's wordy. In addition, wordy. Likewise, wordy. So all of these are wordy. You just have extra words that serve no purpose. So the best answer is D. Delete the underlined portion. Okay, that's an example for too much talk. Number 5 in wordiness. Number 7, redundancy. Redundancy means to have 2 words that basically mean the same thing in the same sentence. Example. Annual. What does annual mean? Each year. What else does it mean? Yearly. So if I put any of these 2 together, it's redundant. So they're wrong. You only keep one and you remove the other. Another example. Because. Due to. Reason. All of these basically mean the same thing. So if I say, the reason is because Is this a correct sentence in English? No, it's something we all say, it's something we all use frequently, but it's wrong. The reason is because. No such thing. The reason is. We don't say the reason is because the reason is means because. It's the same thing. Redundant. Example. Each year and annual. These are both redundant. Every year means the same thing. Per year means the same thing. They're all redundant. So the right answer is D. Delete the words each and year. Now you're good. Okay? Now, a little trick. Let's write this here as a little trick or a little hack. Okay, write this with me, please. Redundancy hack. The correct answer is most probably the shortest answer or the delete answer. What's the delete answer? Like the one we just did, where the answer choice says delete the underlined portion. So in redundancy questions, the right answer is most probably the shortest answer or the one that says delete. Super fast, super easy, always comes on the test. Okay? Hurry up. Number 8, complete incomplete hack. If you find a complete sentence, then a comma, then an incomplete sentence, especially if that incomplete sentence begins with ing, this is probably a correct answer. So if you find an answer choice that has a complete sentence, comma, incomplete sentence, starting with an ing, it is probably the right answer. And if you are in a hurry, you don't have to check anything, just choose that answer. 90% it's going to be right. Example. Let me just show you an example. Number 2. However, the landing of the Rosetta Space Probe on Comet 67P مش عارف ايه in 2014 was different. Now, pay attention here. Since we have a colon here, we're basically, it's like we have a new sentence, okay? It marked the first time that a probe landed on a comet and giving scientists an unprecedented opportunity to study the surface of a comet. Now, there's a mistake here that we learned before today. What is it? Good job. Look here. Landed and giving. Are these two verbs parallel? They're not parallel. Okay? So the parallelism is wrong. So that's one thing. Now, I can look at all the answer choices, but if I am in a hurry, I can guess that the right answer will be D. Why? Because D is a complete sentence. Then comma, incomplete sentence that starts with ing. This one right here, giving. Okay, let's read answer D. It marked the first time that a probe landed on a comet, complete sentence, comma, giving scientists an unprecedented opportunity to study the surface of a comet. Okay? Complete sentence, comma, incomplete sentence, best answer, usually. This hack. Now, this hack or this skill is a really long and important hack. Today I chose for you 2 little notes that are super easy and super important on the test. If you find the word this plus a verb, it will be usually right or usually wrong. Wrong. But if you find the word this plus a noun, it will usually be right or usually be wrong. Right. That's simple. Okay? There are reasons for this. But for now, this is all you need to know. Let's take a look. Artists associated with this began. This plus verb. This began. Probably wrong. It and them are both pronouns like this. Basically mean the same thing here. The answer would be D. This is the pronoun this. And movement here is a noun. So this is a popular trick on the test. Okay? This plus verb, probably wrong. This plus noun, probably right. Number 10, our last grammar trick of the day. Of which hack? Now, right and wrong. If two answer choices in the same question, two answer choices in the same question have of which or of whom. So one of the answer choices, one answer choice has of which or of whom. And the other answer choice has of it or of them. The answer choice that has of which or of whom will probably be the right answer. And the one that has of it or of them will probably be the wrong answer. Most times on the test, you will have one of this with one of that. One red with one blue. This is how it usually appears on the test. Now, the reason for this is something called run-on sentences. We will learn in details perhaps in another course, or you may already know run-on sentences from school. So that's the reason, but this is the hack. Example. Take a look here, quickly. What do you realize as soon as you read the sentence? That number 17 is of it, one of the words that we just talked about. So A is of it, because A is a repetition of whatever is in the sentence. And C is of which. So this is exactly what I was talking about. Two answer choices. One has of it, the other has of it, which, or of whom. Of it is wrong, of which or of whom is right. So you don't have to read the sentence. You might not understand it fully. You might be super tight with time. This is a quick hack and a quick guess on the test. Okay, Shabab. Now, فضلنا punctuation questions. Punctuation questions are some of the most confusing questions in the world. Sorry, in the writing section. Luckily, we have 4 popular hacks, just 4, that we can use to answer most punctuation questions on the SAT writing section. Only 4 hacks that will help you answer almost 80% of the punctuation questions you will ever see on the SAT test. I think that's good. Let's start. Okay. Top 4 punctuation. Number 1, colon and semicolon. Number 2, 2 commas or dashes. Number 3, punctuation with verbs. Number 4, punctuation with prepositions. Let's go. Number 1, colon and semicolon. Write these rules, please. Semicolon. We must have a complete sentence and another complete sentence. We cannot have a semicolon between a complete and incomplete sentence. Okay? So two sentences, semicolon in the middle, they both have to be complete. Okay? Another rule. We can have a complete sentence and then a colon and another complete sentence. That's also right. We can have a complete sentence, colon, then an incomplete sentence. That is also right. What else can we have? There's one little, very, very, very small note that is really uncommon on the test. Okay, but I'm still going to write it. We can have parallelism with semicolons instead of commas. And this is very, very, very unusual. Okay? I just need to say it because you might see it on the test. It's super unusual to have parallelism using semicolons instead of commas. It is correct, but super unusual. Example. I like to sing, comma, to read, comma, and to dance. Now, this is a correct sentence. There's nothing wrong with it. What I just taught you today is that it is possible for this sentence to be written like this. I like to sing, semicolon, to read, semicolon, and to dance. It is also right, super unusual, very rare, appeared only once or twice maximum on the SAT tests in the past 15 years. So it's really rare, okay? It is very uncommon, but it is a possibility only the way you have here in front of you. To have three parts, instead of comma and comma and, we have semicolon and semicolon and. Other than that, stick to these rules. Anything other than the first three right here is wrong. Just so you remember, a complete sentence is a sentence that has a subject, a verb, and makes sense if you read it by itself. An incomplete sentence is anything missing one of these three. Example. Let's take a look here. To counter the rise of fast food and fast life, comma, a cohort of chefs, journalists, and sociologists spearheaded a slow food movement. Now, let's take a look. The sentence in red, to counter the rise of fast food and fast life, is this a complete sentence or an incomplete sentence? It's an incomplete sentence. Why? To counter the rise of fast food and fast life. What happened? I don't know. So it's incomplete. It's not, doesn't make sense by itself. After it, we have a sentence in green. A cohort of chefs, journalists, and sociologists spearheaded a slow food movement, declaring loyalty to unhurried enjoyment. This is a complete sentence. It has a subject, it has a verb, and it makes sense. Can we have an incomplete sentence, then a semicolon, complete sentence? So A is wrong. Can we have an incomplete sentence and then a colon? No. We didn't take these two in the page before. So B and C are wrong. Okay? I don't care about the right answer now. But what I care about is that these two are wrong because they are not one of these cases. You need to memorize these three cases here. Okay. Next one in punctuation. We have something that we call a parenthetic remark or an appositive. An appositive or a parenthetic remark is a group of words or a word that is between two commas or two dashes. It's similar to what we took today when we learned subject-verb agreement. But the point here is, you can either have 2 commas for your appositive or 2 dashes. You cannot have a dash and a comma. Let's write. Something, comma, something, comma, something. With your subject here and your verb there, like we learned today, this is perfectly correct. Okay. What about this? Really quickly. Can I have a subject, then a dash, then something, then a dash, then the third part, which is the verb? Yes, you can. Can you have the subject, comma, something, dash, verb? No, you cannot. Okay? So now do you understand? And the last case, you can't have a subject, dash, something, comma, verb. That's also wrong. So, when you separate a subject and its verb using an appositive between the 2 things in the middle, these 2 things have to be 2 commas or 2 dashes. They can't be a comma and a dash. Let's do this really quickly. Come on. I'm going to give you 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Answer A. Answer B. C. D. Okay, let's take a look. Boss Tweed's Tammany Hall Group, which controlled New York City in the 1860s, dash, stole. This dash is followed by a verb, stole, correct? The subject for stole is what? Tammany Hall Group. So this is your subject. What do I have here after the subject? A comma. Can I have a comma and a dash together? No. The comma is not underlined, so this means it has to stay. So this dash must turn into a comma. So after 1860s, I have to have a comma. So the answer is either B or C. Okay? Now we're going to learn another hack in just a few minutes that will let us easily know whether it's B or C. Punctuation with verbs. Write the rules. If you have a subject and you have a verb or you have its verb right next to it, or, okay, let's do this first. There should be no punctuation in between. So, for example, I can say he, comma, is. That's wrong. I can say the boys, colon, came. That's wrong. I cannot separate a subject and its verb using any type of punctuation like a comma or a semicolon. There's a little exception. We're going to say it in a little while. Similarly, if you have a verb and after this verb you have its object, there should also be no punctuation in between. For example, the boy is, comma, happy. Wrong. She was, colon, late. Wrong. We simply cannot have punctuation, like a comma or a colon, between the verb and whatever word comes after, whether it's the object or not. Okay? Easy? One exception. If the punctuation is 2 commas or 2 dashes. This is our exception. Remember, we said no punctuation in between. But if this punctuation is 2 commas, part of 2 commas, 1 comma of 2, or 1 dash of 2, and the 2 commas or the 2 dashes are correct, the way we learned a little while ago, then leave it as it is correct. Other than that, no punctuation between a subject and a verb, or a verb and whatever comes after it. Easy? Hurry up. I'm going to count till 3, and you guys have to find the right answer. Just 3. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Italy's government. This is a subject. Italy's government. This is a subject. Closed. This is a verb. Can I have a comma between the subject government and the verb closed? No. Government, closed. No. So these two are wrong right away. And it's a very popular trick on the test. Really easy. Now, somebody might say, well, here we have another comma. But is this an appositive? Are these the 2 commas that we took before? Italy's government, comma, closed, comma, the tower? That doesn't make any sense. The appositive, the thing between 2 commas, is something we can remove. And here you can't remove closed. So this is not part of 2 commas. It's an error. Easy? Okay. Really quickly. Go back to this. Actually, let's do this one first. The last one. Last thing we're going to do today. Okay? Just going to finish this. Do a couple of examples. Pay attention. Punctuation with prepositions. Write the rules. Word. And after the word, its preposition. Its preposition. The preposition that is with this word. Or preposition. And after it, its word. I'm going to explain what these its word and its preposition things mean. There should be no punctuation in between here or here. Example, word and its preposition. Write the examples next to it, please. Just take one example. Go, comma, to. That's wrong. Go is the word. It could be a verb, it could be a noun, whatever. And to is the preposition. Now, the to here is its preposition. It's related to go. You go to a place. Go to. You can't have any type of punctuation between go and to. Okay? Let's take another one really quickly. Come, semicolon, with. Wrong as well. Come is the word, with is its preposition. I can't have anything in between. Let's do the second one. Preposition, then its word. So I go to, comma, school. Wrong. To is the preposition, school is the word. You can't have anything in between them. With, preposition, colon, him. That's the word. Can I put with something him? No, I can't. They have to be right next to each other. Now, before we look into the example right here, let's go back to the example we did a couple of pages ago. This one, remember? Can somebody tell me why answer C is going to be wrong here in number 15? Which controlled? New York City, that's the word. In, that's the preposition. Why do I have a comma between them? You shouldn't have a comma between the word and its preposition. Okay? And these are not 2 commas because this comma right here belongs to this comma right here. Okay? So that's why B was the right answer. Now let's go back to number 4. Here's our example. I'm going to give you 10 whole seconds to find the best answer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I said I'm going to give you 10 seconds to find the right answer. But if you were really looking for the right answer, then you are wrong. Because I don't want the right answer per se. I want you to apply the rule that we just learned. Come on. What's the rule we learned for number 4? There you go. It was thick with. With is a preposition. The same is its word. Should I have punctuation between a preposition and its word? Can I have a colon between the preposition and the word? No, I can't. Okay. Let's take a look at C. It was thick with. With is the preposition. And the same is the word. Can I put a dash in between them? No. So that's why both of them are wrong. Okay? Now, the answer is B or D. It really depends on some other things. But for now, all I want is to apply the punctuation hack that we learned together. Okay, guys? Okay. So here is what we have done today. We learned 10 grammar hacks and rules, and we learned 4 punctuation hacks. They should be very useful for you. They're not everything, but they are the most important.
اوكي يا عبقرة، خلصنا الجرامر كله النهارده، خلصنا البريك بتاعنا وخلصنا البنكتويشن هاكس بتاعتنا. Now again this intensive course is intensive. عايزين ناخد حاجات كتير في وقت قليل، ف you need to focus really well and تطبقوا الحاجات دي مع الحل اللي هنعمله بعد كده ان شاء الله. الفيديوز بتاعت الحل بعد كده في بقية الكورس بتاعنا فيها حل مفصل لكل حاجة. So we're going to be using الهاكس والسكيلز اللي اتعلمناها مع بعض في الكلاسز دي اللايف دي، وكمان هتلاقي نفسك بتتعرض لسكيلز وهاكس جديدة. So we need to write برضو and be super مركزين فيها because it's super important في الكلاسز اللي جاية إن شاء الله. Okay يا بكر، we're gonna take a short break دلوقتي، هناخد 5 minutes بالظبط، وهنرجع بعد كده نعمل البونس yes yes no no question hacks. يا رب تكون مفيدة بالنسبة لكم. Then we're done for today. Go break.
Yes, yes, no, no questions are very easy. There are some of the easiest questions on the test if you use the right hacks. If you don't, if you just try to answer the question without using any kind of system or any kind of tricks or hacks, you will probably waste a very long time because it's very time consuming. Okay? But luckily, using our system, using our hacks, you should be able to answer them correctly and quickly. Yes, yes, no, no questions basically ask you whether a sentence or a phrase, should be added or kept as it is or removed entirely from the passage. So I have a passage, then I have a question. This question asks you, what do you think about this particular sentence or phrase? Should we add it or should we not add it? Or the question will ask you, in this paragraph, in this passage, there's a sentence already there. Do you think we should keep it or do you think we should remove it? Okay? It also asks you to choose why you decided to add that new sentence, to keep the old sentence, or to remove this old sentence or phrase. So you need to tell me, yes, I should add this sentence, or no, I should not add this sentence. But if you say yes, you need to tell me why, or you need to tell me why. If you say no, then you need to tell me why no, or you need to tell me why no. What is this? What does this all mean? Let's take a look. Here's an example. The writer is considering deleting the underlined sentence, number 6. Should the writer make this deletion? Yes, he should delete it. Yes, he should delete it. No, he should not. No, he should not. That's why it's called yes, yes, no, no. Okay, you think he should delete it. Why? Because answer A. You think he should delete it. Yes. Why? Because answer B. You think he should delete it? No. Why? Because answer C. You think he should delete it? No. Why? Because answer D. So this is basically what we do in yes, yes, no, no questions. You answer yes or no. Should I add or delete this sentence first? Then you tell me why you decided to add, change, keep, delete, or do whatever. Okay? Today we will learn important yes, yes, no, no hacks. Let's begin. Now, as always, we do have many different hacks for every type of question on the test. And in this intensive condensed course, I'm always focusing on the most important and the most useful hacks. So I chose quite a few for you today, and some of them are common between this mistake and this type of question and the other type of question we will explain in just a little while. So write with me, come on. Number 1, same, different, same. S, D, S. Same, different, same. Number 2. Main idea of paragraph. Next to this one, right here, sentence in the middle. Sentence in the middle. Main idea of paragraph right next to it, sentence in the beginning or end. I'll explain in details, but write it down now. Okay. Number 3. T-hack. Number 4. First time hack. Number 5. No words. No capital letters or quotations. Number 6. Example hack. Okay, so 6 hacks for yes, yes, no, no questions. Some of the most important and most popular hacks that we use on the test. Let's explain. Same, different, same. Check the sentence before and the sentence after the yes, yes, no, no sentence. They will probably be talking about the same thing. In this case, the yes, yes, no, no sentence, YYNN means yes, yes, no, no sentence, must also talk about that same thing. Example. Pay attention, please. Sentence 1. Talks about apples. And sentence 3 talks about apples. Logically, what should sentence 2 talk about if these are 3 sentences after each other? it should talk about apples as well. In this case, we have sentence 1 and 3 talking about the same thing, and we have sentence 2, the one in the middle, talking about the same thing as well. So this is right. But what if you have sentence 1 that talks about apples, same. Sentence 3 that talks about apples, same. And sentence 2 that talks about oranges, different. You think it's going to be right or wrong? Wrong. Okay? Now, pay attention, please. Pay attention, please. When can we apply this hack? If the yes, yes, no, no sentence, the one I'm asking you about, the question, is where? In the middle. Sentence in the middle. This is what I mean. So the same, different, same sentence, or the yes, yes, no, no sentence, the sentence I want to add or delete, the sentence I want to play with, has to be in the middle between two sentences. So I have sentence 1 and I have sentence 3. And my yes, yes, no, no sentence is sentence 2, the one in the middle. What do you mean by yes, yes, no, no sentence? It's the sentence I am asking you about. Let's take an example really quickly. Look here. The writer is considering deleting the underlined sentence. Where is the underlined sentence? It's number 6. Where is number 6? Is it at the beginning or the end of a paragraph, or is it in the middle? Okay, pay attention. This is going to be a little bit difficult, okay? Everybody pay attention, please. This sentence right here, let me see where it's going to start exactly. Right here. Look. This sentence, let me change the color just a second. I'll do it in green, okay? This sentence in green is called sentence 1. And then the sentence after number 6 is called sentence 3. Sentence 3. Are they talking about the same things? The same thing? Let's take a look. In lieu of a strictly dictated curriculum, students could select from 10 academic disciplines. Not want to overlook the slightest detail, Jefferson showcased the 10 categories by placing a carefully chosen Roman symbol on each of the 10 pavilions. So here I'm talking about what? 10 academic disciplines, and in sentence 3 I'm talking about the 10 categories. So I'm talking about the same thing. In order for sentence 6 to be right, it has to be talking about what? The same thing. These disciplines. The 10 academic disciplines. So this sentence does talk about the same thing, and we call this sentence 2. So, should the writer delete? No, the writer should not delete. Why? Because we have same, same, same. Let's take a look again here. Check the sentence before and the sentence after. The sentence before what? The yes, yes, no, no sentence. Number 6 and the example before. And check the sentence after that sentence. Then, they'll probably be talking about the same thing. If they're not talking about the same thing, forget this hack completely. One more time. If the sentence before and the sentence after are not talking about the same thing, forget this hack. If they are talking about the same thing, then the sentence in the middle, the sentence I'm asking you about, needs to be what? The same, not different. Let's take another example so I make sure you guys understand. I'll get you an example from the homework you guys are going to be doing. Okay, look here, everybody. This is another example. And here we want to apply same, different, same. SDS. Okay, let's check. Where's my yes, yes, no, no sentence? It's the one in the question. Number 9. So right here. I want to add this sentence. So this is my yes, yes, no, no sentence. First thing to do is to check the sentence before and the sentence after. Okay, where's the sentence before number 9? Here's the sentence before number 9. Two of the movement's rulers, authors Langston Hughes and Richard Wright, saw Hurston's work as a harmful caricature of African American life, and even accused Hurston of creating new stereotypes that were no better than the old. So this is called what? Sentence 1. Then let's check sentence 2. Sentence 3, I'm sorry. The one after the question. While Hurston viewed her work as a tribute to a rich and sophisticated culture, her detractors saw it as a mockery, and Hurston's work, according to them, was lampooning African Americans in the worst possible way. This is called sentence 3. And sentence 2 is the one I want to put in the middle. Do these two sentences talk about the same thing? Yes, they do. It's a little bit tricky. They talk about people who saw Hurston's work as harmful and accused her. The one in green talks about people who saw her work as a mockery. Okay? It also talks about something else. Take a look here. Hurston's work. And here we're talking about Hurston's work. Her work. So they are both the same. They're talking about the same thing. Now let's go to this sentence. Is it talking about the same thing? Is it talking about her work and other people who don't like it? Yet others praised her ability to seemingly include idiomatic speech and lauded her efforts to capture authentic culture. They praised her. They said positive things about her, even though sentence 1 and sentence 3 are both negative. So should we add this sentence? No, we should not. Why? Because we have same, different, same. So no, we should not. Okay? A little bit confusing, I understand. I hope you understand it. Okay? So we use this when we have the sentence in the middle. Let's go back. B. 2. Main idea of paragraph. Sentence in the beginning or end. If the sentence I'm asking you about is in the beginning or the end, then this sentence must be related to what? The main idea of the paragraph. And we already learned this before, remember? When did we learn this? When did we take this hack? Reading questions and writing. We said that the sentence that introduces or concludes at the beginning or the end of a paragraph must be related to the main idea. So we already know this hack. Okay? Now, before I go to number 3, let me just do something really quickly. Now, عبير وأحمد السيد عندهم مشكلة في السؤال اللي احنا حليناه من شوية. نعم؟ بتقول حاجة وحشة؟ طيب المشكلة كانت في كلمة يت بتعمل contrast. معناها ان انا لما بعمل contrast يبقى بعمل حاجة ايه؟ different. الفكرة في السنتنس دي، وده homework مش عايز احرقه يعني، بس الفكرة فيه ان اللي قبل نمبر 9 بيتكلم على ناس شايفين شغل هيرستون harmful، بيتهموها، شايفين ان شغلها وحش. السنتنس اللي بالاخضر بتتكلم على الناس، مش عليها هي، مش مهم هي رايها ايه، الناس اللي شايفين ان شغلها mockery، بيتريقوا عليها وشايفين ان شغلها the worst possible way. يبقى السنتنس اللي قبل 9 بتتكلم على شغلها بطريقه وحشه، والسنتنس اللي بعد نمبر 9 بتتكلم على شغلها بطريقه وحشه. ينفع اجي في النص واحشر سنتنس بتتكلم على شغلها بطريقه حلوه اللي هي yet others praised؟ no، ساعتها تبقى same different. اوكي، لما تحلوها في الهوم ورك ان شاء الله المره الجايه باذن الله نصلحها ونقولها بالتفصيل. yes حبيبي. Hack number 3, T-hack. And T-hack is super important. It's one of the most important hacks. We use it all over the place in every single kind of question almost. Okay, we took this before. Let me just repeat it really quickly. T-hack. By T, I mean the words this, that, these, those, the. If you have any of these words plus a noun, this isn't grammar, okay? This is a hack we use to answer different types of questions on the writing section, okay? I'm not talking about grammar right now. If you have this, that, these, those, the, plus a noun, then this noun must have been referred, let's change referred, must have been present in the previous sentence or sentences. And let me explain really quickly. If I start a sentence by saying, this boy was a genius, do you know which boy I'm talking about? No. But definitely the sentence before this one, or the sentences before this one, we're talking about a certain boy. So now when I say this boy, you all understand who this boy is. If you say that boy, or you say these boys, or you say those boys, or you say the boy, then you are referring to someone who was already mentioned in the preceding sentence. What if the sentence or the sentences before your sentence do not have a boy or boys at all? Then the sentence is wrong. I'll show you how. T-hack يا شباب super important. ركز معي. هاجي اقول لك ايه؟ الامتحان هيبقى صعب. الامتحان the test. سؤالك هيبقى ايه؟ اول سؤال تسالوني انهي امتحان؟ اوكي؟ يبقى معناه انك انت ما تعرفش الامتحان ايه هو، يبقى ما فهمتش الجمله اللي انا بقولها. انما لما اقول لكم بكره يا شباب ان شاء الله هنعمل امتحان في الحصه، الامتحان ده هيبقى مدته 25 دقيقه، الامتحان ده عليه 30 درجه، وبعدين اقول لك بعد شويه الامتحان هيبقى صعب. انهي امتحان؟ خلاص كلنا عرفناه بقى اللي انت لسه قايلين عليه من شويه. فهمها؟ اوكي. Let's take an example really quick. Let's look at this question again. if you look at sentence 6, my yes, yes, no, no question, look at the first thing. It says, these disciplines. So the word disciplines must be mentioned in the sentence before. If sentence 6 is correct, look at the sentence before. Did we talk about disciplines? Yes, we did. So these disciplines is correct. And that's another good reason why we should not delete this sentence. Because it talks about disciplines that are in fact in the previous sentence. Okay, what if sentence number 6 said, these birds? What would I do? I would look for birds before. Are there any birds before? In the sentence before, are there any birds? No. So sentence number 6 would be wrong and should be deleted because it refers to birds that are not there. It's a very common trick on the test. Okay. First time hack. First time hack. Let me finish this first, please. First time hack. First time hack is really similar to T-hack in a way. Make note in your mind of a certain word or term that is referred to for the first time. How do you know if something is referred to the first time? Let's write it down quickly. First time hack. First time hack. Words mentioned for the first time will probably be accompanied by a definition or explanation. People mentioned for the first time will probably be accompanied by a title, job, full name. Now, accompanied by and accompanied with are two different idioms. They're a little bit confusing, so you can use either one here pretty much, okay, just in case if you think accompanied by sounds weird. Now, the first time in a paragraph or in a passage to state the word or the acronym DNA will probably be accompanied by a definition of what DNA is or a short explanation of what DNA is. Okay? People you mention for the first time in a paragraph or passage will probably have their title or their profession, their job, or their full names. So, if I'm talking about George Washington, let's write this as an example. Okay, pay attention here, please. President George Washington did so and so and so. That's a sentence. Another sentence. Washington was famous for doing so and so. If you find these two sentences in the same paragraph, which should be the sentence that comes first? This one will almost always certainly come before this one. Why? Because a person called Washington is present in the paragraph. The very first time I talk about him, I can just say Washington. Who is Washington? The first time you tell me he's the president and his name is George Washington. The second time I refer to him, I don't have to say President George Washington. I can just say George Washington, or I can just say Washington. Do you understand? Let's take another example really quickly. The European Union, EU, is the, then you have a sentence. Then you have another sentence later on that says, the EU did so and so. Which one of these should be the first sentence and which one should be the second sentence? Or which one should come first, which one should come second? Why? Because the first one, you defined what EU is. What is EU? It's the European Union. The second time, you don't have to say the European Union all over again. Okay? You just need to say the acronym. Do you understand? How is this beneficial in yes, yes, no, no questions and in logical ordering questions, which are very similar? We're going to talk about them in just a moment. Tell me, how is the first time hack beneficial? I'll tell you how. You have a sentence. Pay attention. And this sentence talks about Washington. And then we have a sentence that talks about first president of the U.S., George Washington. Then we have another sentence that talks about just Washington. Do you think this sentence is in the right place? Why? It should be before the sentence before it. It should be the very first time we talk about George Washington. I can't talk about a man called Washington and then afterwards explain that he was the first president of the United States. His name is George Washington. You can't do that. Okay? So this means if this is my yes, yes, no, no sentence, then I should not add it. Okay? No words. Let's just write this here really quickly. Yes, yes. No, no. No answer choice words. Remember, yes, yes, no, no questions, we have 4 answer choices. Yes, yes, no, no. In the 2 no answers, we have certain words that appear frequently. Okay? The word blurs. The word. Who can remind me? What's another good word like blurs? Blurs is a good word. Interrupts. Shifts the focus. Okay? Let's stick to these for now. Or we have undermine, and we have contradict. Okay? These are all words that you will typically see on the no answer choices in yes, yes, no, no questions. No, we should not add the sentence because it blurs, because it interrupts, because it shifts the focus, because it undermines, because it contradicts. So you're going to see these words, okay? If you think the answer should be no, these words are better and these are worse. These will probably be right, these will probably be wrong. The reason really quickly is, if the author will make a bad choice and he should not add a sentence, he was mistaken, he should not do this, he will probably make a mistake because his sentence will blur the idea, will make it unclear, will interrupt the ideas, will shift my focus as a reader. These are all mistakes. But what author in the world will put a sentence in his paragraph in error, wrong, because it undermines or contradicts the idea he's trying to explain? Usually wrong. So these words are usually wrong. And these are okay if the answer is a no answer. Okay? Example hack. Adding. Write it next to it. An example sentence is always good. If the example is a real example. Now, what do I mean by real example? It's a correct example. Okay, so if I tell you I have 5 friends, for example, John, Sam, and Tim, these are people. It's an actual example. These are people who are examples of friends, so it's okay. But if I say I have 5 friends, for example, apples and oranges, then the example itself is wrong. Okay? So if the example is right, it is good to add an example always. هلخص الكلام اللي انا قلته ده في دقيقة بالظبط. كله يركز معايا. دي اكتر حاجة، اللي جاي كله سهل قوي. اوكي؟ قربنا نخلص خالص ان شاء الله. ركز قوي. same different same. لو السنتنس اللي انت بتلعب فيها في النص ما بين 2 sentences، اقرا اللي فوقيها واقرا اللي تحتيها. الاتنين لو بيتكلموا على نفس الحاجة، يبقى السنتنس اللي هتحطها في النص لازم تكون بتتكلم على نفس الحاجة برضو. main idea of the paragraph. لو السنتنس اللي انت هتلعب فيها في بداية الباراجراف او نهاية الباراجراف زي ما اخدنا الحصة اللي فاتت في الريدنج، اوعى تنسى ان السنتنس دي لازم يبقى لها علاقة بالمين ايديا بتاع الباراجراف اللي هي فيها. تي هاك، the، this، these، those، الكلمة اللي وراها لازم تكون موجودة قبل كده. لو موجودة قبل كده سنتنس حلوة، مش موجودة قبل كده السنتنس وحش. first time، أول مرة هجيب لك سيرة كلمة جديدة أو بني آدم جديد، هديك معاه شوية تفاصيل، شوية شرح، هقول لك اسمه بالكامل، هقول لك بيشتغل إيه. تاني مرة هقول لك اسم البني آدم أو اسم الحاجة دي، مش هديك التفاصيل دي. طب ده هيفيدني في إيه؟ هيفيدك في إنك تعرف السنتنس دي مكانها صح ولا غلط. no words، لو الإجابات فيها كلمة no، لو الإجابة اللي فيها no sorry أنت اخترتها عجباك الإجابة اللي فيها no، خد بالك إن في كلمات معينة زي اللي كتبناها، حبة بيبقوا عادة حلوين وحبة بيبقوا عادة وحشين. example hack. جيت في sentence yes yes no no، عايز أضيفها، أنا بقول لك عايز أزود السنتنس دي، والسنتنس دي عبارة عن example، عبارة عن مثال. غالبا حلوة جميلة بنحب نحط examples، إلا لو الإكزامبل أصلا غلط. أوكي؟ Question number 6. Question number 6, really quickly. The writer is considering deleting the underlined sentence. Should he delete it? No. Why? Because the sentence before it and the sentence after it talk about the same thing like we said a little while ago. The one in the middle is talking about the same thing as well, which is disciplines right here. It also has the other hack we learned today, which is T-hack. If you look here, we have these disciplines, T-hack. And the sentence before this right away talks about disciplines. So 6 is a good sentence. So it has same, different, same, and it has the T-hack. So now I should not delete it. I should leave it because it's good. So I'm left with C or D. Why should I leave it? Let's see. No, because the information conveyed in this sentence provides useful information about the breakdown of disciplines that is further developed later in the paragraph. C is good because it mentioned the word disciplines, which I liked sentence 6 for. D. No, because the information conveyed in the sentence explains why Jefferson relied heavily on classical Greek architecture. You can use reading hacks here. Did anybody say that Jefferson relied heavily on classical Greek architecture? Extra information. And heavily, too extreme. So I have reasons for D to be wrong. C is the better answer. Okay? مين عنده سؤال بسرعة؟ كنت عايز تسأل ايه يا فندم؟ اتفضل بسرعة. Yes. السؤال هو بسرعة عشان كله يستفيد من السؤال. احنا قلنا sentence 1 2 3 ثلاثة sentences ورا بعض. فاكرين؟ same 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 different same. هو بيقول لي يمكن دول يبقوا same واللي في النص تبقى same برضه نفس الموضوع. بس بتتكلم على الموضوع ده بطريقة غلط. ممكن. ما احنا ما قلناش same different same يبقى 100% صح. خد بالك احنا خدنا 6 هاكس. لقيتهم الثلاثة same شبه بعض. غالبا حلوة دي. هتتأكد بقى منها بالهاكس التانية. طلعت بتتكلم على نفس الموضوع بس بطريقة غلط هتكتشفها بطريقة أخرى. إنما in most cases لو الثلاثة بيتكلموا على نفس الموضوع هتبقى same 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 تبقى حلوة. اوكي؟
عبقرة. we are done بالكلاس النهاردة. تعلمنا grammar، تعلمنا punctuation، تعلمنا yes yes no no questions. الحاجات دي بتيجي كتير جدا في الامتحان. أكتر حاجة بتيجي في الامتحان إن شاء الله. if you master them you will get a super duper score just like you super people. Let me know please before you leave البنفيت بتاع كلاس النهاردة. هل كان 100% ولا كان 90% ولا كان 1000%. Let me know في comments please before you leave. I enjoyed my class with you today and I hope you enjoyed it as well. Please اتفرجوا على الفيديو بتاع كلاس النهاردة tonight لو في وقت أو tomorrow علشان خاطر تبقى فيها نوع من المراجعة بالنسبة لكم. Make sure you write your super notes and send them to me and make sure إن حضراتكم تركزوا في بقية الجدول بتاعنا إن شاء الله. Let me know if you have any questions.